Hey everybody, just thought I'd take you through a few things that I've got in my golf swing now that have never been there before. Um, I've never really been a good driver of the golf ball. It's always been something that severely limited me. I can remember, I think it was 2.5 years ago, I was at a simulator and trying out different shafts, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll hit it better with an X stiff shaft, and they told me that I shouldn't use it because my swing speed wasn't high enough. And I remember seeing a guy that was the same build as me, a little older. He had a swing speed of about 110, and I was just baffled. Like, how was he doing that? He didn't even look like he was swinging hard. Um, and I was swinging as hard as I could and getting to like 103. And yeah, so I guess it was a year later, introduced to Kelvin Miyahira's work and research and seeing some of his players hit. And yeah, I'll take you through some of the things in my swing now that I like finally, and then the changes in my ball striking have changed quite a bit too. So the first one is going to be this line right up from my left heel, and as you can see, when I'm rotating through, I stay behind it. And the more you stay behind your left heel with your left hip. So if you could imagine a little, let's see here. If you could imagine the inside of my left hip, and then it's never going over that line. It's never going left of it. Sure, I'm going left. There's that hip bump, but because I'm never going beyond that line, I can freely rotate my hips through the impact area. And if that happens, your body's going to have more speed. You're going to, likely have a better release, depending on, that's its own separate story. But it gives you the opportunity to swing faster. And really here, my swing speed was probably about like high teens, maybe like 116, 117. And I did not swing hard at all. I took it back and got my backswing in the position I wanted, and then I just did the good quality movements that I have been feeling downwards, and I rotated. Easier said than done. I've worked on this stuff, but recently, through Kelvin Miyahira, working with Victor Rodriguez, working with my own, I've been teaching a lot, so I've got a great understanding of what it takes, and now I've been working on my swing for about a week, and it's in a pretty good position, better than it ever was before. So that's huge. So check out your guys' swing, see where you're at, if you're sliding too much and what have you. And also, sliding is a back killer. I'm starting to realize this more and more because I know mini tour players, players that have played on web.com tour, Asia tour, long drive guys, players caddies, all different types of people that had hip and back injuries because they slid too much. And yeah, I've had people send me pictures of the nastiest surgeries they've had on their hips. They've cut open the entire side of their left hip. I know players that had to get back surgery because of they were taught to slide, and then eventually when they did slide, they started really hurting their backs. So, and I, I, I don't know. I just think the body is the most important thing, and why would you injure yourself? And now we've kind of discovered that sliding is a huge cause of it. You can even look at players throughout history that have had bad backs and how much they slid. You can do that research on your own. I don't want you to have to quote me on too many things here, but yeah, figure it out for yourself. So that's one thing that's huge in my backswing. The reason that I can rotate well now is because if you look at my hips, my front hip, I'll show you here. My front hip looks like it's more pointed in this direction, so it looks like my front hip is higher than my back one. That's an illusion. Even the players with the highest front hip here, um, in reality, relative to the ground, is not higher, but it looks like that from this perspective. And when it gets there, it has the ability to drop, and I'm going to show you this in transition. It's going to drop down this way, so take a quick look. See right there, it drops down. It's called getting into left pelvic tilt, said by Kelvin Miyahira. And if that part of your pelvis is higher, then you have the ability in the downswing to go into more left pelvic tilt, and your hips will be able to rotate more. So that's something that's huge. I've really had horrible pelvic movement. I did the exact opposite. So I went into, instead of having my front hip high here, instead of having this one, instead of having this one high, it was low, and the other one was higher, and then I did the opposite going through. And what that does is messes up rotation, and it causes also a stall and a hip thrust. So if you look at your swing from down the line, I remember looking at mine, and I came off the tush line. So if you draw a little line right on the tip of your butt cheeks, from the backswing through impact and beyond, I would come off about 6, 7, 8 inches. And now, yeah, it's either on it or a half an inch off. And some of the best players ever actually would move an inch back, really get deep and rotate. So I'm super happy with how far my swing has come, and the pelvis has been a huge part of that for me. And I'm getting right side loaded here, so my weight is over on my right side, and yeah, just rotating through, especially with the driver. That's really what you'll want to do. And my hands are high. There's quite a bit of space, as you can see, from here to here. Okay. And the higher your hands and the less deep they get, the more your hands are going to be able to get out in front of your body on the way down, and also be able to create more speed. And if you look at in history, the players that have had hands that aren't too deep and high have been players like Tiger Woods in his prime, Jack Nicklaus, Sam Snead, Inbee Park, Annika Sorenstam. Who else was there? David Duval. A lot of players that were the best, period. And players nowadays, there's Dustin Johnson, and there's all kinds of players that are moving towards that direction. So high and not too deep is good. And I'm gonna have to do another video down the line, because there's characteristics you can see down the line of a person's swing that can contribute to better ball striking. So yeah, those are a couple things. And then if you just want to see impact, show you impact. Something that I really enjoy watching is that elbow come down. So right here, this elbow is getting below my left. That means that I'm essentially, in just layman's terms, staying behind. Doing that sidearm throw into the ball. And then a little more technical, I'm getting right lateral bend. I'm having a good elbow move towards the ground and the target. So anyway, that's going on, which is good. And then I've maintained some lag, so you can see it about there. My club face is still, or sorry, my shaft is still about there. And then it's going to be decent coming into impact. And some players, I remember reading Rich Hunt's articles on driving, and the players that hit too much up on the driver, sure, they've get distance going, but they tend to lose out on accuracy. And the players that hit too down on it, they will be more the opposite. So you kind of want to hit it either just slightly up, slightly down level. I remember reading that Bubba Watson, that's what he's doing. The ball's flying off, the trajectory of it is high. But yeah, that's just kind of a side note. So yeah, and I've got my left front wrist, it's a little bowed, and I maintained a little bit of leg through, as you can see by this line here. And yeah, this drive, this particular drive was really good. It probably flew about 290 or so that's a good start. And yeah, it's just really cool, because I was never a long hitter. When I started playing golf at 16, I remember hitting driver like 150, and I thought I was athletic. I thought I'd be, thought things would be better than that, but they weren't. And I kept playing, kept practicing, kind of finding the sweet spot more. And then when I played tournaments and things, I'd get it out there maybe 250, so in total. And yeah, now I've hit drives longer than I ever have since doing Kelvin stuff, and I'm really, really excited about it because it's such a different feeling. Like, it feels so good to move well and to hit the ball well. And yeah, I'm moving more like players that have been really great, especially compared to before. So it feels really, really good. And my back, my hips, my shoulders, everything is feeling so much better. I remember I used to hit balls and I'd be debilitated. My upper left back and my left hip and my shoulder would all be extremely sore. And so yeah, swinging this way is definitely helped in the long run a lot for my body pain. So those are some characteristics of my swing that I'm happy I've implemented. Um, and yeah, it's not all that hard. So I've been preparing my body with fascia training. I've been taking a lot of swings where I'm looking myself in the mirror. I've been filming a lot. I've been having other people look at that and help me. And yeah, and just analyzing my swing on UberSense. So if you have a swing that you'd like me to check out and you want some lessons or anything, just let me know. If you have any questions and like to grill me on any of this stuff, feel free to ask. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you listening, and just thought I'd share my swing because I'm excited about the progress I've made. And yeah, appreciate you listening again. Just hit me up if you have any questions. Bye for now.